Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. My name is Allie Naughton. I'm a client strategy manager here at Listrak, and welcoming you back for part two of our Shopify Tags and Listrak integration webinar. If you missed it, we already had a first webinar. In part one, we covered Shopify tags and where they are in Shopify, where to manage them, and then how they are integrated in Listrak and how to utilize them in things like triggered journeys. Today, we are going to cover more on the Shopify Flow front, which will be more of how you dynamically make those tags. So, first training was more of a manual, how you can put tags on customers, products, and orders. Now we'll really explore how Shopify Flow allows you to add those tags based on different logic and rules. Few keynotes that I would caveat or before we hop in today is just around things to know about Shopify Flows. So you can create tags for products, orders, or customers based on any set of criteria. So the nice thing about Shopify is they have their own data in terms of things that you can make criteria for around orders, things of that nature. But then you can also integrate with any third-party apps that you have downloaded in your Shopify store that have Shopify Flow integrations. And that also you'll be able to create tags based on some interaction with those apps. The only other thing I would note in here is that these will continuously work until they're paused, and it is dynamically updating tags. We're going to talk about how you can create these. The also good note is you can clear tags. So say you had someone who was a VIP and then they downgraded, you can clear that tag as well. So those are both key components as we think about the fact you can only have 250 tags on a person, product, or order. We want to work on data hygiene and cleanliness as well. So we'll go into all of that today. We'll be spending a lot of time in Shopify, but a few use cases I also wanted to go over. The nice thing with Shopify Flow is your use cases and strategy are kind of endless, I would say. So I just outlined a few of these here. I'm going to go through these one by one because I think it's helpful to think through for your specific business how these might be impactful for you or how you might tweak them to hit kind of how your business operates. So a few examples are you can tag products with categorical data for segmentation specifically or to be used within decision splits within journeys. So high level, I would say this is a good use case of an example we went over in part one where maybe you don't have a feed attribute for, say, men's versus women's or apparel versus swimwear, and you do want to change messaging based on that kind of criteria. You can tag products with different product tags in order to really get to that level of segmentation, as well as like splits within triggered journeys. You can also use product flags to exclude products from certain campaigns. So when you think about products you might want to exclude, maybe those are products that are coming soon, or maybe those are products that are things like samples that you do not want people to get a triggered communication because of. So in journeys like post-purchase and abandonment, you can use product tags in order to filter or segment in the journey, and you can exit those people based on that tag itself. Going into order tags, you can add different things to specific orders that you might want to use in terms of campaigns like post-purchase. So maybe someone bought a swatch or a mini. That might inform you that you want to upsell that person in their post-purchase campaign to the larger product or maybe the couch that that swatch came from. A lot of good ways that you can utilize those tags in order to really get to the nitty-gritty of what they bought in order to then inform how you would like to cross-sell or upsell them in those post-purchase campaigns. From a customer tag perspective, you have a wealth of information that you can add strategies to, but a good example is potentially doing discount bands. So you might have different offers that you give people for signing up for your email or maybe becoming a loyalty member. And you're able to see if someone uses a certain discount. You could potentially add a tag to their customer profile around the discount band that they use. So maybe 5 to 10%, 10 to 15%, 15 to 20%. And then you know on any other communication that you plan for that customer, you might want to make sure you have a discount because you know that's why they convert. They have that affinity to convert with a discount, and you know the band that they typically convert on. Another example of a customer tag that you might tag and use from a triggered campaign perspective is a pay-as-you-go use case. So you can see within Shopify who use installment vendors for their purchase, and then you can use that information in order to maybe split and then say an abandonment journey where you might want to say, hey, you can buy this over 4 easy payments. The last example here is an example from a subscription service. So you can mark a customer tag for those who have recently churned from maybe your subscription program that you want to win back. So you could say subscription churn subscriber, and you can bring them into a journey to say, hey, come back to the subscription program and you'll get, X% off your first order. Those are great examples of use cases across both Shopify data and third-party data that you might set up within Shopify Flow in order to accomplish something like this. We're going to go into Shopify and go through a few examples that we have built today. And then I'm just going to walk through a little bit about how Shopify has templates already, as well as blank workflows that you can build yourself. So we'll spend a little bit of time in Shopify going through some of these use cases. Now that we're in Shopify, we're in an app called Flow. This is where you'll see any of those flows that you've already created, and you'll see if they're active or inactive. We have a few prep for today we'll walk through based on some of the examples we gave in training part 1, as well as some of the examples we just gave in our ideation here in our part 2. The first one is a flow from a review vendor called Okendo. So if you have any other review vendor, this is agnostic to how this works, but if they have an app that works within Flow, you can utilize an action that gets taken in that app and then create a tag based on that action. So this is a very simplistic use case of a review was created in Okendo, and then you can use a rule that essentially says if that rating equals a 5, I want to add a customer tag called 5-star reviewer. This is a good example of something that you might want to trigger a journey off of and say, hey, if they're a 5-star reviewer, let's go give them a coupon and tell them how much we appreciate their 5-star review and tell them to shop with us again. You could also do the inverse of this if you think about that use case, where if someone gave you a 1 or 2-star review, maybe you want to put a customer tag of risky customer or low reviewer, where that might be a good example of something where you might exit people if they have that on their customer tag from a journey. So maybe you don't want to be sending them a bunch of abandonment messaging. Maybe you would want to remove them from other post-purchase flows that you have on the Listrak side. You could use that as a segment and use that as an exit event from a segment perspective in order to say, hey, if they're a low reviewer or recently gave us that, maybe we want to remove them from some of our flows. We're going to go back out. We'll showcase another example here. This is based on order data. This is all Shopify data specific. So the event bringing you into this flow would be an order was created. And then in this example, we kept it very simplistic. We just essentially said, if you bought something that was greater than $500, then let's add a tag that says high value customer. There could be any amount of strategies that play into that rule, depending on your business rules. But this is a very straightforward one. You could use this in any capacity. So maybe this person bought into a specific category that is a stretch category for you guys. So they're kind of on the edge of your new cunning technology. That could be a good one of a good stretch group of people you might want to message new product releases to, or something like that. So this could be any which way of any kind of rule based on the order, and you can add a tag based off of that. Lastly, this was covered in our deck, but another good example is someone pays with installments. So that might make us think, hey, maybe we want to segment messaging to that person and really give them more prominent messaging about 4 easy payments because we know that they are apt to using those type of installment payments. So this is a good example of, again, using Shopify data of your order being created. You are saying if they placed an order with installments, then add a product tag of Shop Pay installments. Those are the few use cases that we have here today, but you can imagine any other third-party vendor in which you integrate with. There is no limit to what you could essentially create here, other than ensuring some data cleanliness and not doing more than 250 tags. There are also two other things I like to point out in here. You can browse templates that Shopify has today. So there are a bunch of use cases. A lot of them are covered on existing Listrak uh, emails that we send out today and SMS messages we send out today. But there are other use cases that might be interesting to your business that they have templates for. So I definitely recommend going through this use case and kind of seeing what templates make sense for your business. But that's a quick, easy way to set up some workflows. And then you can always create a new workflow. So you might, in this use case, it actually has you select a trigger where it'll show you in starting from scratch is Shopify, all of their events that would start this trigger are all within their section. So again, these are typically order or customer related. So you can create any number of information based off of, as you can see, almost limitless amount of fields on the Shopify end. And then you can integrate this with your third-party apps. So what you'll see here is this will show you your installed apps. We have a few here of what we were testing with. But you can see like a great example is a loyalty vendor that maybe if they join the loyalty program or they reach a new tier, all those are good examples of things you can add tags for and then be able to communicate accordingly. Those are just some simple examples of how you could utilize the tool, but you open that up and it tells you the events that you can utilize from a flow perspective. And that is it that we really wanted to cover today in our part 2. As you can see, your opportunities and strategies are kind of limitless in what you could add tags for in Shopify Flow. And we just wanted to give you a quick example of a few of those to kind of get those creative juices flowing on your side of how you could utilize both Shopify and Listrak together. We appreciate you joining today. And if you didn't watch part 1, we definitely recommend going back and watching that so you have a full breadth of our Shopify integration in terms of tags. Thanks everyone for joining.